In this first full week of the new Congress, Republicans reintroducing legislation barring transgender athletes from participating in women's sports.
We have a long way to go. We need Republican senators, hopefully Democrats with daughters who want to protect them. So let's keep this going when hopefully Congress can vote and make this permanent.
Senator Tommy Tuberville leading the way in the Senate. Representative Greg Steube sponsoring the House version. The bill, called the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act, amends Title IX, prohibiting its application to those born male who transitioned to female. The bill defines sex as based solely on a person's reproductive biology and genetics at birth. This legislation comes as a federal judge in Kentucky tosses out the Biden administration's Title IX rewrite that attempted to redefine sex as gender identity.
It's a tremendous win for women and girls across this nation. It's the first nationwide injunction that has been imposed to stop the Biden administration from forcing a national mandate on all federally funded schools to violate the rights of women and girls.
The president and CEO of the National Women's Law Center, Fatima Ghost Graves, telling the Washington Post the decision displays extraordinary disregard for students who are the most vulnerable to discrimination. Transgender issues played a key role in the 2024 presidential election. Trump promising executive action on day.
The Democrats are absolutely losing it after House Republicans passed a bill to ban transgender athletes from competing in girls' sports. Things got so heated, there was almost a full-on fight on the congressional floor. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and Nancy Mace had a fiery exchange that you've got to see. Let's check it out.
Everybody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans, trans, trans so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or
Do
not.
not call me a child. I am no child.
I want
Don't
to
even
find
start.
out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those
I am 47 years
emails
old. I have broken
actually
more
have.
glass ceilings than you
Chairman,
ever
I
have.
am reclaiming my
Let's go.
time.
You will not do that. I
Order.
am not a
Chairman,
child.
I am reclaiming my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr.
we
Chairman,
can
the committee is not
Okay.
in order.
Order.
Point of order. Point of order.
Order.
Let me tell you something. Y'all need to find some people that actually care about their constituents. And honestly, whenever y'all are ready to work, we on this side of the aisle have always been ready to do what is right by the American people. Instead, what you can continue to do is go after the most vulnerable in our country. The fact that you just sat up there and somehow figured out how to tie trans folk to your argument makes no sense to me. But let me tell you something. Trans people ain't going nowhere. Just like when the racists wanted to make sure that black people somehow were going to be dismissed in this country. We ain't left either. And I'll yield.
Would you yield back?
Did you see that? And then AOC goes off on the House floor, having a full-on meltdown over this bill. She's calling it hateful and full of bigotry. But honestly, it's just about using some plain old common sense.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, Madam Ranking Member. Here we are today, Republicans who have voted consistently against the Violence Against Women Act, who have taken away the right of all women to choose and have control over their own body, who, as women are bleeding out in parking lots across the country, standing there, allowing us to die, now want to pretend today that they care about women. And why? To open up gender and, yes, genital examinations into little girls in this country in the so-called name of attacking trans girls. And to that, today, what we have to say are two words: not today. The majority right now says there's no place in this bill that says it opens up for genital examinations. Well, here's the thing. There's no enforcement mechanism in this bill. And when there is no enforcement mechanism, you open the door to every enforcement mechanism. Trans girls are girls. And for all the folks that are so concerned, thank you for your concern about women for the first time that I've seen. I don't know about y'all. I don't know who's been to gym class lately, but girls, even if you only believe in two genders, I've played co-ed sports all the time. But what this also opens the door for is for women to try to perform a very specific kind of femininity for the very kind of men who are drafting this bill, and to open up questioning of who is a woman because of how we look, how we present ourselves, and yes, what we choose to do with our bodies. I know who loves this bill. Yes, bigoted folks love this bill. Assaulters love this bill. But also, CEOs love this bill. Because Los Angeles is on fire right now. And this is the number one priority this majority has. Thank you, and I yield back.
So, according to AOC, if you don't support biological boys competing against biological girls in sports, you're not just a bigot. You're also some kind of pervert who wants to inspect women's bodies. Oh, and apparently you're pro-CEO and on the side of the rich now, too. She's throwing in everything but the kitchen sink to make her point. But here's the funny thing. If she actually cared about real issues, like the wildfires in California, wouldn't she be calling out the California Democrats? They're out here spending $50 million to Trump-proof their state instead of focusing on the people who actually need help. It's like, where's all that passion when it comes to real problems?